Okay, so we're on to the projects part. I'm going to offer a recommendation of two different projects. The first one being a magic wand, if you will, or a letter opener. You can shave it flat and turn it into a letter opener, and also a stamp. So you can take this, dip it in ink, and then put it on a piece of paper and make a stamp. So I'll go over both of these projects. So the first project, the relief carving. You get your piece of 1x2 or 2x2, just cut it off, draw your design that you want, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take the tip of your knife, and I'm using my large knife just so it's easier for demonstration. You take your large knife and you're going to score. You're going to score, okay, and then you're just going to use your stop cut right there, okay. I'm just using my stop cut. So it's basically you score and then you do a stop cut, and that's pretty much it. Same thing with the outside. You're going to score and then do your stop cut. If you use a paring cut, you know, for the outside, you score it, and then you can carve the outside line like this. Okay, so whether you're doing that or inside, so that's pretty much it. They can do something as simple as do a negative. So this is a positive where you have the image coming out. You can do a negative where they're actually just carving their initials in, and when you try and print that, it'll leave a white space for their initials because there won't be any ink on it. So that's basically the relief project. Simple stamp cut out from a 1x2 or 2x2 pine board, and I would recommend like a large type of design for that. The next one is the carving in the round. You picked out your stick earlier. First thing you do, and you can actually walk them through this. Start out by doing rounding off the end, okay? So here, this is how you get them to demonstrate all the cuts. You have them do it with you. You have your stick, and on the end, we're just going to do a push cut. A push cut. Turn it a little bit and do a push cut. Okay, all we're doing is going around our stick, doing a push cut. Okay, push cut. You get all the way around, and you just, again, you're still doing a push cut. Okay, if it turns out you might need to do a paring cut, so where they can kind of get to the end like this. Okay, so paring cut is useful also. So you're going to round that out. You're going to finish that. You're going to round it out. It's going to look something like this, or this, maybe even this. Okay. Simple pawn. If they want to make, I'm working on a chess set. This is a willow. This is out of willow. So I just, you know, if they're able to actually carve something like this, it's simple, but it is pretty hard to actually get a rounded figure like that. So this would be an acceptable project, a pawn for a chess set. If they want to get fancier, they can work on a horse, a knight, or castle. Another thing you can make out of a piece of wood is make a totem too in the round. So this is just, you know, you're making some cuts. You know, this is your V cuts, 1, 2, these are all V cuts, looks like. So 1, 2, like 3 V cuts, and then just a cutting to the line, and then scoring and cutting. Pretty simple for a totem. Requires paint for it to look good then. So for the handle, after we get the end rounded, then we're going to want the handle. Now I've decided that I want to do something with this as the tip. Okay? So I want this to be the top of the wand. If it was the bottom of the wand and I wanted a big handle, I could do that. But I want to do something fun with the tip. So here's my handle. I've rounded it out first. Now I'm going to grab it. Okay? I'm going to grab it and see, where does my hand end. Alright? Wherever your hand ends, that is where you're going to make a score. Let me get these other projects off the table here for a second. Okay, so we have our hand, our nice grab, and we've decided that's where we want it. You can roll, okay? You can roll it to get a nice line. Okay, so this is a 90 degree. Now you're just going to use your stop cut. Okay? Just nice and gentle and small pieces. You don't want to go aggressive here. You just real small little pieces, and you'll see that sometimes it will start collecting around the edge. That's okay. Okay? If it collects around the edge like that, all you need to do is take your knife and then push and make a little bit more of a stop cut. So you keep going, you go all the way around, make sure you use your stop cut along the way. So stop cut or score line, cut. So your 90 degree cut, and then trimming, and then you can go all the way around. So your handle will then look like this. Okay? It'll look nice and round with a neat piece like that. Okay. So this is all we're going to do. For everything else, we're going to cut a score line, and then we're going to cut to it. So let me explain the bead. The bead is right here. You can see I cut a score line here, and I carved this way. Then I cut a score line here, and I carved that way. The bead is kind of like an elongated, and that's what the bead looks like. If you make cut line here, and you go in like this, and another line here, and you cut in like this, you get a ring. Okay? Now a circle, all a circle is a tight bead. Okay? We have a square. So on this project, you can see here's the handle, here's a bead, here's a ring, and now I cut in to make like a ring, but I actually shaved off flat to make a square. One of the more or highly requested features once they get going is, ooh, I want to make a spiral like that. Okay, real simple with that. If you want to do a spiral, you hold your knife at an angle, okay, and the tip, or actually on the back, and you're gonna just roll it and let the knife follow your angle. Okay. Okay. And then you take your project, you're going to do this again, the stop cut. You're going to go right to your spot that you scored, your stop cut. All right, you go right up And again, you can trim it off like that. So you can see that's the start of that. If you do a wide angle, you can see you can actually get it to go beyond the center and make it look like a spiral, which is pretty cool. So one of the things that you can do is have them make a pickle fork if they want a challenge. Incorporates all the things. Here's a ring. So I put 2 rings, and then I did a spiral. Then I basically took a big gap and I carved it down to a smaller, narrow piece. And so this is a bead, and then I flattened it out. So that's a fork. And that's pretty much it for the project. So what I'm recommending is you do a wand, a magic wand or letter opener. You do anything from that, and then also your stamp. And you should be able to finish in class with those 2. They should be able to finish everything in class with those 2 and not have to worry about working in camp. But the added advantage of working in camp, if they're working on the project and it breaks, you just go find another stick and you're ready to go with your second shot. So that is the projects section.